Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. Racist comments by a senior Hungarian minister about Roma minorities have become a new flashpoint in the country. As the April vote approaches, minority politics at home and foreign policy rhetoric on Ukraine could be critical. We ask how these issues will impact the political contest in Hungary and are now joined by Péter Balázs, former EU Commissioner and Hungary's former Foreign Minister. Good to have you back on TVP World.
Good morning.
So these comments by the minister, I mean, it's a minister of transport, I believe, but how damaging of an impact will they have going forward with this election campaign?
Well, Minister Lazar has provoked a big scandal in the last in Hungary. He is more than just one of the ministers because he is considered as a kind of a successor to Viktor Orban. He's a very dynamic person and he plays a main role in heating the campaign for the coming parliamentary elections. A few days ago, in a public speech, he made a remark that how good that we the Roma population because they can clean the toilets on the trains. Well, this a very bad remark, and then there was not only the Roma population but many other people protested, now he tries to explain it, but the situation is rather threatening for the Fidesz party and his government, because for the first time since 16 years now, Orban has a real challenger. The person of Péter Balázs on one of the videos we could see a few seconds ago on your screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on that note of Péter Balázs, as you said, one of the very first in recent times, really only challenger to Mr. Orban. I mean, he's taken on this as well and taken that statement. He said, and I'm quoting here, "We'll take these words to 1,000 small settlements." So I'm just curious, can you tell us how important rural communities are? I mean, it's not just the Roma minority. I think they're about 8 to 10% of the population in Hungary, but generally, how much of a, let's say, importance will the rural vote have, and Péter Balázs's plan now to share this message there? How impactful will that be?
I think this momentum is adding something new to the campaign, because Orban is promoting a kind of a negative campaign. He has three adversaries in his speeches. One is Brussels. This is the classical enemy of Hungary. The other one, which is a shame for the government, is Ukraine. Ukraine is considered as an enemy. Our money is given to Ukraine. And of course, the third element is the person of Péter Balázs. So they are binding together those three elements. Brussels is supporting Ukraine from our money, and Magyar is coming to serve the interests of the EU. This is the negative campaign. Now, compared to, you see a young person, Péter Balázs, who is 20 years younger than Orban, and who has a real program about how to improve living standards in Hungary, how to improve education, healthcare, transport, and many other things. And he has a great advantage because he is going around in the country visiting all the small villages. And in that connection, you have just mentioned those bad words of Minister Lazar about the Roma. Péter Balázs said he is going on with his country, and in every little village they will play the words of Lazar about the Roma population. So the impact is much more than just the Roma. This is discrimination, this is racism, these are almost fascist declarations which are so characteristic for the Orban government.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I mean, traditionally, if you can tell us a little bit, I mean, the Conservatives, Fidesz, I mean, that's been a tie-in for Orban and successful for a long time. Is this next election, whoever may win, will that be one more in the rural areas? Will that be the key area? Will it be more larger urban centers? Where will this vote, in your mind, be decided, and who's going to play for that?
The vote will be decided in the individual constituencies, first of all. There are 106 constituencies in Hungary, and in each constituency there is a challenger to the government. Now you can see Péter Balázs on the screen. Okay. So there is a well-known tendency, not only in Hungary, but in other countries as well, that urban centers are more progressive, more liberal. And of course, villages, small places are more conservative. Now, Péter Balázs is following a right strategy because he's going down to see the people in the smallest villages. He has a great advantage in urban centers, but he is winning now the support and the sympathy of countryside people. And in the countryside, Roma people matter.
Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to go back to what you said. You said these three enemies that Orban paints traditionally to his electorate and to the Hungarian population. One is Ukraine as well. I mean, that's now ratcheted up. We've heard more claims by Viktor Orban saying there's also foreign interference by Ukrainians into the election in Hungary. He's also saying very much this framing of it's war versus peace, saying that if his opponents win, there'll be a war, that young Hungarians will be called in. How much of an effect is this having? I mean, this is something we've heard before, but how is it on the ground? Are Hungarians listening to this? Is this going to make the difference? How is that kind of rhetoric having an impact here on the campaign?
Well, 4 years ago, Orban won the elections because the war in Ukraine just started in 22. And then he has impressed and threatened the electorate that this war could come over to Hungary. We could be the parties in that war, so vote for me and I will bring you peace. Now he tries to repeat it, but he has very few positive elements. It's just shocking, threatening the people with this war, that they could take our boys, soldiers to Ukraine. All our money is being given to Ukraine for financing the war, and so on. These are false arguments. These are lies in many cases, but many people are somehow sensitive for war and peace in general. So who is not wanting or willing peace in the country, and who is for war? Nobody, of course. So Orban is a typical populist, a born populist, I would say. Is using now these arguments, but what he's missing is a positive program. What I have mentioned just in the connection with Péter Balázs, who has positive messages, who has a program of governing Hungary, and in addition, in the last days, he has introduced some of his potential government members, and these are very good and attractive personalities.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there's still much to play for, and as you said, these various narratives that Orban is spitting. Just one last sentence, please, if you can. How do you see this campaign now take shape as a result of these statements by this minister? Just one sentence before we close.
We are in the hottest phase of the campaign, and this was a big mistake from the Orban team to make this remark on the Roma population.
All right. Always really interesting insights there. Thank you so much. That was our guest, Péter Balázs, former European Commissioner and former Minister of Foreign Affairs for Hungary. Thank you.
Bye.
And thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks. But stay right here on TVP World for news and commentary. Goodbye.